Hello and welcome back to the show wearefree.tv, the show that invites different people from around the world to talk about alternative subjects, be it alternative medicine, alternative education, alternative economics, different modalities for improving our well-being and our health, anything from shiatsu through reflexology and Reiki and yoga and different healing, energetic healing, to do also aliens, channeling aliens, and any other method or modality that can improve our lives in any way and perhaps won't be given much time on mainstream media. This is where you're welcome to come and contact us if you're one of those channelers or healers or practitioners of any kind. We will be more than happy to arrange an interview and bring your special knowledge and techniques to our viewers. So that's what we're all about here in We Are Free TV. We also have a Telegram group which is called No Censorship TV. You're welcome to join. And we have a website called wearefree.tv. You can go there, click on English on the top left corner, and then click join us, and then you'll be sent an email whenever a new interview is published. Also, it's important that you share this video wherever you possibly can, perhaps on your Facebook page, on your Instagram, on your LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok. Send it by email to your friends. As long as you get the word out there, we would highly appreciate it. Thank you very much. And today, my guest is a lady called Zohar, and she is the founder of the Zohar's School of Esoteric Studies. The name of the interview is Times of Change with Zohar. We're going to talk about understanding of reality, doom and gloom, prophecies, 2022, illusion, misperception, and other interesting subjects. So, hello there, Zohar. How are you today?
Okay, thank you very much.
Excellent. Good to see you. By the way, Zohar, if I'm not mistaken, is like a holy book in the Jewish religion, isn't it?
It's a mystic book.
Uh-huh. And is that, were your parents like really into reading that book when they named you?
No. It's a different story.
Different story. I see. Okay. Well, what can I say? Well done. And perhaps you could introduce yourself in a few words. I mean, who are you? What are you? Why are you? What's your life purpose? Why are you doing it? And where are you going?
Wow, these are big questions. I guess I'm a researcher and I'm a dreamer. I dream a lot, and I'm very interested in knowledge and understanding how the world or reality or just existence, the human existence, and I try to share my knowledge with other people.
People do address you or refer to you as a spiritual teacher, from what I heard. What do you think about that?
Well, it's something that someone else can call me, but I cannot call myself that because it's not something you take upon yourself. If someone sees you as a teacher or a guide or spiritual, it's their reflection upon you. So I would not say that is what I am. What I am is a researcher and a dreamer and seeker of knowledge. And also I try to give service to whoever wishes to learn from me.
Sure. You've also written books, quite a few, like 4 books, I believe.
Yes, I've written books. Very small publishing, like independent publishing, and not very easy to read. They're on the edge between philosophy and like spiritual understanding, but they're really neither that or that. They're just like the way I see energy and the world and existence. It's not really the world because the world is just an aspect of our existence. So in this book, I try to give the way I see things.
What do you mean an aspect of our existence? Who are we in this context?
And exactly. we don't really know who we are. We only know how we perceive ourselves and the world. So when I say the world as we see it, or us as we see ourselves as humans, it's just an option. It's one option, I think, amongst many other options. And what I try is to see different options for our to bring ourselves into existence, or how we can perceive ourselves or the world. So it's just, there's nothing, I don't think there's a thing like the world or a person. It's an aspect of existence that we can perceive, and we have become accustomed to perceive things in a regular way. And I try to bring irregularity to this. So things can seem different, or maybe we can find new ways to bring ourselves, or new ways to manifest our energy. Maybe not even human, maybe different, I don't know, many things.
Very complicated stuff indeed. I'm not going to go into it. I think, it has a frequency, and people, some people understand it in one way and some people in another way, different interpretations to what you've just said. So I'm definitely not going to try and really pin down what you were trying to say there, but it was lovely, I must say, and I did relate to a few of things which you said. So what is your understanding of reality of these times? What is the world going through exactly?
So as we just said in the introduction, the world is really not something separated from us. Yes, but I think what we are going through, and the world as a reflection of us is going through, is very, very deep change. It's like a transformation, and maybe even transmutation. You know the difference between transformation and transmutation?
Let me think. Transformation is when you have one form and it transforms into another form. So I'd say, lead turns into gold would be a transformation, perhaps, and transmutation is when it happens from within. I don't know. You tell me.
So like when you see the butterfly and there's a caterpillar and then there's a butterfly, that's transformation. The energy is transforming into different shapes. Transmutation, the way I understand it, is when we take something that can even be toxic to ourselves, and we manifest it as great medicine, or like it's a transformation. It sometimes goes through pain, but it doesn't necessarily have to. But it's like when you take the venom of a serpent and you make medicine from it. So it's like you take something that can be very terrible and you make it into something wonderful. Okay, so I think what we are going through now is deeper than transformation. It's not just shifting form, it's actually transmutation. It's taking a lot of suffering and pain and ignorance, and maybe from this something very beautiful emerges. It's like if you take a sock, yes, that you put on your feet, and you turn it upside down and you see something different. Yeah, it's so I think what we're going through now is very, very deep change that is it challenges almost every aspect of human life on this planet. It challenges our humanity. It challenges us as human beings on this planet. And it's far deeper than changing something. It's not like, oh, we need to change our economical system, so we do this, or we use money differently, or we become kinder. I don't believe in the narrative saying that if we all become more spiritual or better, the world will become a better place. I don't believe in the narrative that one day the prophecy will come true and everything will be peaceful and with harmony and beautiful and peace and no war. I think the change we are going through is the ability to see through this illusion. It means that the world as it is, as we know it, in the vibration of life, as we know ourselves as vibrating life, is complete. It will not become better. It will not become different. The vibration of life has its beautiful aspects and it has its aggressive aspects. I'm not using the words good or bad because I think this is where we are lost. Life as it is not a gentle formation of energy. For life to be created, even think about the intercourse between men and women and the way the sperm goes in and it's very powerful, it's very aggressive, and it's also beautiful. And it has its spectrum from peace to war, from joy to anger. Yes, it has its spectrum of emotion. It has its manifest of different life forms from frogs and birds and things, and it is complete. And it's not going to become better if we become gooder or better people. Yes, it's not possible in the life vibration to only have peaceful formations. Yes, and I think the change. What?
Look at birth, for example. You know, it involves a lot of pain and agony.
Yes, it's very strong, and I can see why we are drawn to it. All these colors and all these emotions, and also all this beauty. Think about music, how wonderful music is as we hear it, or color. I can see how if I was living on a different planet, someone came with a manifest, say, do you want to see this? Do you want to see this? A frog, a bird? I'd say yes. But it's also very, very aggressive. And it comes also with pain and also with suffering. And I think we are at the edge of what we can learn from life vibration. Okay? And I think that transmutation is to let go of the good and the bad, to let go of the joy and the suffering, to let go of compassion and pain, to let go of both sides or all spectrum of life vibration.
Even of love? Even to let go of love?
So, if you noticed, I did not use the word love for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think love is the vibration that elevates us beyond the life vibration. Life vibration has many, many, many aspects. Love is like I don't want to use high or low. It's not low vibrations and high vibration. It is the vibration that is on the edge of life. Okay? So one of the first messages I received in channeling, it was by mistake. I was sitting on the grass in the park and I was just about to get up. It was like 12 years ago. And I hear in my mind this voice saying, love guides us, love guides us. And in the beginning I thought it was my dyslexic aspect. And what I was meant to hear was God loves us, God loves us. But then I stopped and I listened very carefully. And the message was very clear. Love guides us. When we are vibrating love, we become like God. God is not an entity. It is not someone or something greater than us. Love is a vibration. It is. So when we think of the divine and the powerful aspects of God, what we really are thinking is all the possibilities that we can have when we are in love vibration. Love is not an emotion. Love is an intelligence. So when you vibrate love, you actually you have a new intelligence within you that can solve many, many problems and show new paths for human growth. Now, when we were when we fell out of heaven, yes, into the human life, we did not fall down, actually. What happened was we escalated from the second chakra, which is the chakra of life vibration, where we identified ourselves totally through life vibration. We escalated into the third chakra, the solar plexus, which is where God is. It is where the fire is. Yes? So we had earth in the first chakra, we had life in the second chakra, and then we went up, we elevated into the third chakra where we found fire, which actually defined us as different from animals. We had the power for fire. And fire is really the fire of creation. It's fire of innovation. It's the energy of the sun, which was perceived as a god. Yes? And I think what happened is what we need now is to elevate higher. The change is to go up to the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, and it integrates all the different vibrations. Now, when you vibrate love frequency, we can really see love as a frequency. It's not an emotion. It's totally technical in a way. We get new intelligence, and love guides us. Things we could not see through become possible. But in order to do this, I mean, God is not human, right? He is bigger than humanity. He's bigger than the human person. Yes? So in a way, to vibrate love all the time and make it our new base of existence, it means to separate a little bit and depart from being human. It is unhuman to be all the time in love, through pain, through difficulty, through war. Yes? Mm-hmm. So I think the change we are going through now is very, very deep, and it actually takes us beyond our human form. Yeah, it asks us to integrate something greater than the human form.
Amazing. What can I say? You're almost as optimistic as I am. What is your stance regarding doom and gloom prophecies, foreseeing war, hunger, and other disasters, coming to the human population?
Yes, I'm aware of these prophecies. And I'm aware they are coming alive at this time because of COVID and the situation. I don't feel like they resonate in my heart. I don't feel like I can say, I feel that is what's happening. I don't feel it. I don't know what the future will bring. I know that if I vibrate love, I have the intelligence to work with it, no matter what it is. But I think these prophecies, they are not new. And when I say we are going through deep change, meaning something new, truly new, can evolve. And these prophecies are very, very old. We've had these prophecies for thousands of years. Every time someone else comes and says, okay, this terrible thing will happen if you don't do this or this or this, or this terrible thing will happen because you did this and this and this. And I think these prophecies, what they do is they manifest fear. And the fear is very legitimate. Life is very aggressive vibration. And one of the things that we gain in life is death. And death is something very scary for most human beings. And I think we try to suppress the idea of death. We try to put it aside as if we live here in the world as if death will never come. We want ideology and we want this to be like this and this will be like this, as if we're going to be here in 200 or 300 and 400 years, which is not true. We're only here for 80, 90 years for the most. So I think these prophecies, they manifest the fear of death, and they help the people who bring them out, and also the people who listen to them, to feel a little bit in control regarding the chaos of life. Because if I know something bad is happening, or if I'm foreseeing it, then at least it's not surprising me. I'm not out of control. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. But I talk to people Sometimes, thank God, not every day, because I'm very optimistic. I just feel good. I feel so good, and I feel every day I feel better, and I'm fulfilling myself, and I'm doing my destiny and what I'm meant to be doing, and my dharma. So I doubt that suddenly it's all going to change and all going to go wrong for me, and suddenly I'm going to start feeling bad. I can feel the trend of getting better, so I'm kind of I feel that things are going to get better. Now I talk to other people who say, "Well, don't you know that everything is like a house of cards? The whole system is about to be rebooted, or what is it? The reset, and the house of cards is just about to collapse, and the last card is about to be removed, and everything is going to come crashing down. And once the whole system crashes, it's going to bring more, like several crashes are going to happen, one after the other, because once it starts, it doesn't end, and that's going to cause food shortages and power failures, and people are going to be stealing and looting, and we'll turn against each other, and people just think that humans can't do it. Without this. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Well, let the system collapse. We want this system to collapse, this matrix that's been enslaving us for so many years. I'll be dancing and singing, when the matrix collapses. And I said, well, why do you think people are unable to take care of themselves? I mean, let's face it, the factories are going to remain there. The fields are going to still be quite capable of growing food, and and a lot of things are going to disappear, like insurance brokers, fashion designers, strategic advisors, and so many ridiculous, useless things, that we have. Interior designers, okay? Now, so many people are just going to be out of work. Everybody's going to be, I don't know, well, the system stopped. What do? We carry on doing what we did. If it's essential, if you're a farmer, carry on farming. If I used to be an insurance broker, I might just come and help you farm, because we all need the food. And yeah, we might not have junk food anymore, but at least we could grow fruit and vegetables and nuts and eat it. And also the houses are going to remain. I live in a house, you live in a house, so let's say you pay rent. So what's the landlord going to do? Let's say the system crashed, that there's no money, and we're all trying to figure out how we're going to eat. So the landlord is not going to come and evict me because I didn't pay him, because there is nothing to pay, because there's no money. The whole thing crashed. So he's just going to leave me be, in the flat. He's going to carry on living where he is. Nothing's going to change. It's just going to get better. But people can't wrap their heads around it. I'm so excited. What do you think?
Well, I think what you're not taking into account is the emotional aspect of things. Because when things collapse or when things change, we don't even have to say they collapse. We can say they change. That's also to bring a different language. So when you talk to someone, don't use the word collapse as if it's a disaster. When things change, first of all, we immediately think, what am I losing? Okay? Everybody wants change, but the minute someone suggests one change, you have demonstrations. No, not this change. So you say, let's do this change. Demonstrations. No, not this change. But everyone wants change, just not like this. Because they want to keep things in control. And when they lose control, the emotion that comes up the harshest is fear. Now, fear, what you are saying is very logical, and it's very beautiful, and it's very intelligent. But we humans, most humans, are still vibrating very strong fear, and fear doesn't support logic or intelligence. It's the other side of love, in a way. So, of course, if we can bring the vibration a bit higher to the love vibration, then, of course, everything you say makes sense. But when people are in fear and emotion, the first instinct is survival, and it can be violent, because this is how the life vibration works now. I don't think it's going to happen like this. It's not a thing. It's not a thought. I don't feel that this is what is going to happen. I feel the change is much deeper than the human systems. Like, you can see it in the weather, and not just by it becoming hot. It's like things are changing, and I believe they're not changing just because us human did this or didn't do this. I think they are changing within the core of the Earth planet, I feel like she was resting for a few million years, maybe, or thousands. I don't know. Time is different when you talk about it. And the dragons within her, they awakened and they are putting new fire in her. And this fire is very strong and it impacts us and everything on the face of the planet very, very strongly. And we are reacting to it. And so the consciousness within the core of Earth planet is shifting. And she might even be shifting from life to something different than life. Like, I don't see even the weather changes and forests burning and animal extinctions. I don't see it as a catastrophe. I see it as change. Like, we manifest ourselves in many different ways. There were times this earth was all fire, and then there was water, and then there were forests, and then there were dinosaurs. And now there will be something different, and we can participate in it. But I think these prophecies, they're just a reaction of fear from change.
Okay, fair enough. In one of your talks, you said that 2022 is already here. What do you mean by it? And what happened to the second half of 2021?
Okay. Well, as I say, we are going through very, very deep change. One of the most strongest constructs that holds our consciousness is time. Okay, when God first created Earth, He created a space, okay, the sky above, Earth below, yes, and He created time. He put the sun and He put the moon, and these are the two constructs, the basic constructs of our consciousness as humans, okay? So when I say deep change, it's even deeper or bigger than really a human society collapsing or shifting. Time is changing. Our ability to perceive time and work with time as a consciousness, as a figure, as an energy strand is changing. And it started in December 12th, 2012, with the shamanic prophecy, where the calendar of the Mayas ended. They were able to see time as far as December 12th, 2012. And after that, they were not able to understand what the stars are going to do. Why is that? It's not because the stars are changing the way they are moving. It's because at that moment, time as a paradigm, it changed. And what started to happen, I was very, very aware of it in 2013, was I noticed that in every month, like January, February, there were a few days that were out of the time paradigm. They were not sitting in, time is consciousness. Time is a way to perceive our existence. Time is what we know. I know now is 10:22. I know 10:22 means this kind of consciousness. And I noticed when I was like sending strings of energy outside me to understand the days to come, that sometimes I would send this kind of string of energy and it would tap into something. It would tap into time. And sometimes I would send this string of energy and there was nothing there. There was no time there. So what I started to see was I tried to build a new calendar, but I couldn't because the new calendar, the time was changing. So you can't really measure it by a year or by a month or by a cycle, because how do we measure time? Either past, present, future, or we also have winter, spring, summer, fall. We either have the time that rotates or we have the linear time. And the calendar that I was trying to start to describe time differently, I couldn't do it because I couldn't use month, I couldn't use day, I couldn't use year, I couldn't use linear, and I couldn't use cycle. What I've noticed is that the last 2 years, we have more and more days in a month or in a year that are in a way out of time, meaning we have no perception of them. And they are very confusing and chaotic for the human mind. And they are what is disrupting our regularities. Every day with that is outside time, outside the paradigm, it's like this wonderful place of possibilities, but they are not tangible. And it's really what is bringing down this house of cards you described, but it's more than a house of cards, because when cards fall, it doesn't do anything. They're so light. It doesn't even make a noise. They are, these days or these sections are actually, it's like pulling from beneath the structure, okay? And that is what makes things like turn over. Now, I think one of the things that is happening, that time is, I don't know if it's the right word, it's escalating, it's becoming faster or something like this.
Accelerating.
So, accelerating, thank you. So it's like if you think of a life of a human being 300 years ago, you would be born in your village and you would probably stay in your village. You would have one profession, one wife, one house, yes? And if you think of the life of a human today, you can go through many careers in one lifetime. You can go through many families in one lifetime. You can go through many, many changes in one lifetime. You can even be a female and a male. You can be so many different things in less time, okay? So everything is becoming like faster, and it's not because we're modern and we're rushing things. It's time rushing us to this shift. What I felt this June was that 2022, the year 2022 is already here, meaning the consciousness, the awareness, the vibration of the so-called future of 2022 is already present in the middle of the 2021. And that really, it's very strange for me to see now people write the date and they still write 21 and I say, what are they doing? It's not 21, it's 22. This is how I feel. Yes, I know it's very weird, but so what I felt was that the knowledge or the vibration or the possibilities and also the challenges of the consciousness of 2022 are already here. And in 2021, what we have from it, it's just like sheriot, how you say it?
Remains.
It's just like, yes, remains of something, a shadow of something long past. So I think time is really the hero or the main character of this transformation.
Yes, Salvador Dali was right with his pictures of time melting away. Okay, so you also describe 2022 as a year of illusion and misperception. Could you elaborate on that, perhaps?
Yes. I work with numbers, but I'm not a numerologist or something like this. I've never studied it in a conventional or a non-conventional way. And the number 2022, so I'm just saying it because a lot of the knowledge comes to me through numbers as entities of energy and constructs of energy, okay? 2022 is going to be a year of much illusion, meaning when you walk down the street and you see something, it will be distorted. You are not seeing things clear, and it's not because of you. It's no one's fault, okay? So let's say, you know, these mirrors that are round, so when you look at them, everything is distorted.
Yeah.
So this year, everything that we are going to see might seem distorted, and to remember who we are through these distorted mirrors, we really have to shut our eyes and constantly remain very anchored within our body and within our heart, and not believe what our eyes are showing us and what our ears are hearing. In a way, it's not very different from other years, yes, because some people say reality is an illusion or existence is an illusion. I don't normally agree with this. I think reality is an aspect of who we are, or existence is an aspect. But I do think that this year it's like going through a roller coaster, and it's can be very deceptive, and it's better to know what is right and what is wrong, closing our eyes and shutting our ears, and just staying very true to ourselves, because there is like a crack in the universe, and everybody is trying to reach out and get something out of it. Okay, this change it's coming through a crack. Okay, something is cracking. Now everyone wants to be in charge and decide what the new universe will look like. Okay, so there is very, very much aggression to try and construct the new reality and how humans will be in it. And it's more aggressive than normal, okay? Because now there is an opportunity. If things are changing, sometimes when something breaks, there are people who break with it, and there are these opportunists who know how to make money out of it or how to build something through this. So the last 2 years, there has been this crack, and there are many powerful entities, not people really. It's greater than what one prime minister or another does. Yes, or someone with money. It's greater than this. And there is like this struggle, and this struggle is trying to take our energy and put us in a new paradigm. Yeah, but they can't do it if we won't let them. And when I say they can't do it if we don't let them, I don't mean that they are going to lock us in a jail or starve us. If we do not allow it, just by saying, I do not agree, I'm not giving you my energy, that's all we need to do. But it's very hard. Let's say you say, I don't eat popcorn. Okay? And now someone's sitting next to you and he's eating popcorn and it smells so good and he's enjoying it, right? So the smell and the sight, and he's okay, so maybe now I will eat popcorn. Yes, it's hard to resist different narratives or different senses. And this is how we lose our anchor, and we start giving energies to things that we don't even want. Yeah, and this is not even an aggressive situation. Now, let's say someone is describing something terrible or something wonderful. So you react to this. And at this point, we actually have a chance to shift, because things are so irregular. Reality is being challenged. We no longer have to do what we used to do. I know of many people that after the, how do you say, seger?
The lockdown.
After lockdowns, they decided they're not going back to high tech to work 150 hours a week. They don't want. They realize it's fun to bake, and they only want 80% of their work time. Something cracked, and people all of a sudden had an opportunity to sense their own energy field. Like some people, it was the first time they had a chance not to be in contact with other energy fields and be locked down at home, but to feel themselves, to hear themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, and all of a sudden they don't want to go to what was. So also, in 2022,
yeah,
it's like there is like a battle over our energy, and if we look and everything is distorted, we can be very confused and very fearful. And when you are in fear, the instinct is to give someone else your energy to manage it.
And if somebody asks, well, how do I do it? How do I do what Zohar just said? How do I avoid, these influences and these misperceptions and attempts to control my reality? Well, I would suggest the best thing, which is so effective, don't watch TV. Don't watch the news. Just switch off the news. Don't switch the news on the TV, on the radio. Do not buy newspapers, and you will be 95% protected. The other 5% is just a bit of emotional internal work. But you don't even need to do that. Just don't listen to the mainstream media and you'll be fine. I've been doing it. Well, I have not been listening or reading them for 19 years. And boy, do I have a laugh and do I enjoy life. And my reality has been so good. And now, especially now, I'm used to it. Because it's very hard not to listen to the news. It's addictive. And it takes a long time to wean yourself off this very powerful drug. So I'm very lucky that I've been doing it for 19 years. And now I have no problem to not listen to any kind of news whatsoever. Not even on Facebook. Nothing. Not even on WhatsApp. So what do you suggest doing?
First of all, I think it's a great suggestion. And I think also that if you are too scared to go as far as you did, you can every morning just look at the headlines of a paper. Like, you don't have to hear it and you don't have to visualize it and you don't have to. I think many people are afraid to not know what is happening. It's losing context because they're not anchored and independent within themselves. So if they don't know what is happening in the world, they really don't know what is happening inside them, yes, and where they are. And that can be hard. But yes, it's like you can slowly take your energy back to yourself. I think another thing that happens when someone takes his energy from the TV or the newspaper, he's cutting the energy line to whoever is producing it. So they don't have rating, they don't have money, and all of a sudden energy is shifting somewhere else. Because if you're not watching the news and you feel better, maybe you are gardening and maybe you are making your own food, and maybe because the energy you are putting there is going to go somewhere else. I think another thing we can do is just sense, when am I losing energy and what brings me down? It can be also a person, yes, that I'm in a relationship with. It can be something that I'm doing that is taking me down, and try to find things. Now, a lot of times, why we don't have an optimistic TV channel, maybe you, but because bad news, they take energy. Because they are negative and there is energy here, so they suck the energy. So I say, why do I need to hear about good things? Yes, there's nowhere for the energy to go. It's not really true, because then the good can grow. But I think it's, even if you can't cut yourself from the media and you don't want to, you can just take like 1 hour to be with yourself and breathe and feel your body and give way to your emotions. You can do something creative. I think creativity is a very important skill at this time. You can embroider, you can paint. There are many things you can do, but I agree that to not hear all the time the terror, it's really terrorism what is happening on the news. It's like passive aggressive terrorism that sucks a lot of energy from many, many humans, and it can really make you unhealthy.
It's like being married to a narcissistic, controlling man, you know, and we are all the wife,
Yes, and repetitive, because it's the same news over and over and over. It's the same thing, and they call it news, but it's not new. It's like you turn the news today and you turn the news 20 years ago. It's old. The same news.
It's old.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you know, in one of your talks, you described the number six, as bearing a special quality and potential. What exactly did you mean by that?
Okay, so number 6, I don't know if I can explain all the metaphysics now, but I try to give a little bit of it.
Please.
2022, together when you add up the numbers, it's 6. Okay, so when I say it's a year of illusion, or number 6 can be a very deceptive number, because it is constructed of a few different possibilities. You can perceive number 6 as 6 ones, right? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. So 6 is from 6 ones. You can see it as 3 twos, like 2, 2, and 2, and you can see it as 2 threes, 3 and 3. 4 and 2 is another variation of 2 and 2 and 2, so I put it aside. There is a tension between perceiving number 6 as 3 2s and 2 3s. What is the dominance? There is a deception between seeing the number 6 as more of a tangible figure, or a figure of mischief, like something you can really hold or something that you can't really touch. It goes back to how we work with the number 1 and 0. 1 as what is, and 0 as what is possible, but isn't is yet. Now, when we come to the number 6, which is 2022, it's like the energy is fluid and it can become anything, okay? And it's very tricky because something may seem real, but it's just an illusion, and something may seem real and it's true. I don't know if, okay? Now, I have this field that I'm trying to teach now. It's called practical metaphysics. When you learn practical metaphysics and you learn to see and feel energy fields, number 6 is an opportunity. Many beautiful things you can take from the infinity and transport into reality or into tangible reality. But you can also get lost in this infinity, and you can also get sucked into someone else's dream. Because if someone knows how to work with the energy field of 6, they can trap you. Now, not because they're evil, because we all build, by our existence, we build what we want, we build what we aspire for. So in a way, this year, 2022, even though it's very tricky, it's also an opportunity for each and everyone who wants to connect to their dream and actually import it from the infinity into reality. Because there is it's a magical figure. Okay? And so I think one of the best anchors and teachings of this time for the next, I say, until March, it would be to really, really connect with your dreams and not discharge them. Give them space, even if you don't know how to manifest them. And allow yourself to believe that your dream is true, possible, and legitimate in this lifetime. And really, really put a lot of energy into connecting and feeding your dreams. So it's like go into your cave for the next few months and dream. Just dream and dream and dream. And when you come out in the spring, you have the tools and the ground to start manifesting it.
Good advice. I'll make sure I do that, continue doing that. And, there's another thing. Many people at this time fear all these technological and radiation impacts on the human body and consciousness, like 5G and all these things and other things which I can't mention here to do with different injections and other things. So what do you think? What do you make of it, of all these technological things? And if it's true, then how can we avoid the damage of these technological influences?
Okay. I don't want to relate to the injection part because it's different, but I will relate to the technological and radiation and things like this. I think we don't have to fear them. I think we need to learn how to work with them. I don't see humanity, or I don't see, when I look at the transformation, the future transformation of humankind, I don't see us going back drinking water from a pond and living like Bambi in the meadow. I think we are shifting into something else. And I think radiation, also from the Earth core and from the sun, because the ozone layer is getting smaller, all these changes, they are preparing us to hold higher vibrations through our body. Okay? Now, of course, if I am totally human and biological body, and I relate to it, and I put myself next to something very, very radiative, yes, then I will become sick. But I think the way to understand it is not to reject it. It's not to say this is bad, we have to stop it, we have to go live in the woods somewhere far in a cave. No. I think what we really have to do is prepare our bodies for higher consistencies and vibrations that are beyond human, that are beyond biological vibrations. It's what I said in the first question, that we are transforming beyond life, beyond humanity, into the God energy or the love energy as a basis. And we are actually going to become, we are going to radiate energy, more energy. You know, in the Indian shamanic prophecies of the 7 worlds, they say that when we are now in world 5, we just shifted from world 4 of separation to world 5 of illumination.
Is that the 5D theory? The 5D?
I don't know. Okay. The world 4 of separation, where everything was separated from me and you and I were not the same, yeah? And the world 5 is the world of illumination. And the illumination is actually that we are all one in a way, or everything I see is a part of me. And also radiation, and also transformation. So I think, and in world 7, what the prophecy says is that Earth planet will shed her biological skin and become another sun, that all beings on Earth will become like beings of light. We will not be determined, yes? We will not die. It will be a shift, which I think we are starting to do now. One of the elements I work most with at this time is metals and the entity of insects, like spiders and ants. And okay, they know how to hold higher vibrations than humans or yonkim. How do you say yonkim? Mammals, yes. So what we need to do is learn their wisdom and learn their vibrations. And these are creatures that we normally don't want them next to us, yes? But what I feel is we have to learn how to build our body as something that can hold stronger vibrations. So if you think about our body as water, if you put very much energy, the water becomes hot and it evaporates. But if we start integrating the idea or the entity of metals, metals can hold higher vibrations. So in a sense, I don't think we are really biological by essence. We are light beings, so we should not have problem with radiation as light beings. But we have to learn how to work with it within our body. Yeah. And I don't think we're going back.
Okay, interesting. And what about the people who claim that the Earth is flat? I think they're called flat earthers. And then there's obviously the conventional narrative that the world is a sphere that circulates around the sun. And according to the flat earthers, the sun actually rotates around the Earth. What do you think?
I think it's very interesting. It's evolving now, or maybe it's long evolving. I don't know. I heard of it only in the last few months. And I want to say a few things about it. When scientists a few hundred years ago said that the Earth was round, they were prosecuted. They were not perceived as seers of light. They went against the church. They went against all knowledge, and they were outcast. Yes, for bringing this new vision or truth. Okay. So there is this thing about the evolution mind that when a new idea comes, it challenges the old idea, but it doesn't mean the old idea was right. I mean, before they thought the Earth was round, they thought it was flat and sitting on 4 turtles or 4 elephants, yes? So I think, first of all, that it's interesting that it's coming up now through times of change. Now, as I said, the change is very deep. And as we said in the beginning of this interview, the world is not really something. It's what we perceive it is. Now, I think maybe perceiving that the world was round brought much knowledge to the human society. It had learnings that created growth and no understanding of existence and of the universe. Maybe now we have outgrown it, and now we have to learn to see the world in a different way. I don't think the world is flat or round. I don't see it as flat or round. And I also want to say, I don't think it's like a conspiracy to keep us on the round concept of the world so we can't escape. I think that's, again, fear and fear and fear. And it constantly has this same narrative where we are small and someone's trying to control us. I don't think it's true. I think that every period of time brings new knowledge and exploring, and it actually changes the world from flat to round, from round to, I don't know, a different kind of shape. I don't see the world not as round and not as flat. I see it as like endless cords of energy, like spider webs, like endless. And when we say it's round, a small portion of it lights and we see the roundness of it. And when we say it's flat, a different portion on this endless net lights up when we see it as flat. But it's actually all the time changing because it's not separated from us. So if we as humans are changing and shifting, then obviously the world as we see it has to change and shift. And the planet is endless, or it is narrowed into something tangible according to the openness of our mind and our ability to perceive it in different shapes.
So could I perceive it triangular or square?
So you are taking it into different shapes. And what I'm trying to say, go beyond the shape. It's, okay, so now it's a square, now it's triangle, now it's flat, now it's round. We're staying in
trigonometry.
Yes, it's not interesting. Okay, so now we say it's go beyond the shape. Try and understand it as an evolving net of energy cords that can become not even a world, but something else, and you can become something else in it.
Physics, quantum physics talks about reality being an illusion, and there's more space between particles than actual matter, and that, you know, it's like we could be dreaming. This could be a dream. So really, if this is a dream and matter is not what we perceive it to be, then as you say, you know, it could be like something formless and or with all forms at the same time, and you know, where am I? Where are you? Who? I'm just consciousness, you know, apparently creating this physical body, which is an illusion as well, which is an illusory reality. So what we perceive to be, or what we think we perceive to be the truth, isn't, and it's proven physically. So yeah, I see what you mean. The world could be anything or nothing.
In 2013, after time has shifted, I started channeling these entities called, I'll need your help with translation, they were called Hanitzchim.
The eternal ones, eternal.
The eternal ones. And they were like the consciousness of the void between particles. Like they were the consciousness that sees the particles shift. So I started channeling them, and it was very, very interesting because it shifted my consciousness from what is to the gaps between what is. It was very, very transformative, and I think I don't really know quantum physics, but I'm starting to work now with someone who is a physicist and is translating a lot of what we say into physics bars, or I think when we feel we need to feel our form, our body form, then we need to feel the form of the earth body. But if we allow ourselves to be fluid, then we can allow the earth body to be fluid. And if we allow ourselves to feel safe as a dream and not as an entity, then the earth body can be a dream. And in dream time, the energy works differently. You can, in a dream, much easier to shift and change the reality. I don't think it's an illusion. I don't think we are living in an illusion. I think this is not a good word to use at all because it's judgmental. I think we are living in an option. And there are many options. And the more our consciousness is flexible and open, we can move from one option to another, and that will give us a lot of joy because it's playful.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, interesting. So through these times of change, as you described them, we can become our own anchor. So what path can we take to feel safer and anchored? Any tips?
I will give a few very simple tips. Take a few minutes a day to be with yourself and just ask yourself, how am I today? Zal, how are you feeling? What do you need to feel better? Just shut a bit the world out and just meet yourself. I strongly advise to take some kind of breathing technique, to breathe deeper and bring more presence into our body. Use our body as an anchor. Use our body as a shelter, not because something bad is happening. It's not really a shelter, but to connect deeper and deeper into our body because it has a very, very strong intelligence to make us feel good. And we tend to separate from it when we are tense. So I would say find some kind of breathing technique. Sit outside in nature. Take a half an hour a day to be with yourself and connect to your body. And also allow yourself to dream very far and very big, and don't let anyone challenge your dreams. Maybe you won't be able to manifest them all at once and at the scale that you wish to. But I feel that any dream that is connected to my spirit and my body and my soul at this time, if I put energy into it and I water it with my time and patience, it has very, very great potential to grow into my new reality. The violence of this time is because people are trying to grasp energy in order to set the new reality that will, be the next new thing. Yes. And so a lot of people want my energy, but they can't have it if I don't let them. And I can use this time to actually grow the reality that will bring me joy and help me manifest my talents and my aspirations. So
I see. Okay, interesting, helpful. So it looks like we've covered all the subjects that we prepared. Yes. It's been highly enjoyable, and now we've reached the final dramatic stage of the interview where you are asked to please address directly your brothers and sisters around the world with a suggestion, request, demand, or any important message you would like to impart onto them. So Zohar, the stage is yours, and go ahead, please.
I would be very happy if people remember the channeling Love Guides Us. God is not an entity, it is a vibration, and love is not an emotion, it's an intelligence. Try to bring love, and love is an intelligence that can really help create a great place for us all. Like, I'm not saying it very articulate, but I use this phrase very much, and it really helped me to see, okay, when I'm with love, even though things are hard, I have better solutions if I'm in fear. So that's one thing I would like to suggest to work with. And the other thing, stay connected to your body. It's really, really important to stay connected and anchored in our body and just breathe. Breath is so, so important. Just connect to it and stay close to yourself.
Wonderful. Fabulous. What a lovely message to end this amazing interview with. I had a lovely time, enjoyed every minute, and all I have to say is thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much as well. And good luck with all of your activities. And all I can say to our lovely viewers is I can repeat the sentence, love God's us. Do not forget that. I will see you in the next interviews. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.